Hi, I'm Darryn Farrugia and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 methods for expanding your vocabulary using licks and ideas that you're already playing. So let's get into it. A few weeks back, I did a video called That Triplet Lick, and it was based around a triplet lick that consists of only 2 beats. Today's video is going to be based on that triplet lick. So if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to leave a link to that in the description below. But in the meantime, let me just give you a quick demonstration of what that triplet lick is. The triplet lick that I'm referring to is only 2 beats long. So you can think of this as a bar of 2/4 as triplets. I'll play it for you and then I'll break it down. Here it is. 1, 2, 1, 2. The first beat of triplets is kick, right, left. And the second beat is right, right, left. So that right, right is on the snare drum, and then the left hand again is playing the small tom. So the first method to expand our vocabulary using this lick is to change the subdivision. Now, because this triplet lick is 2 beats long, it gives us 6 notes. What I'm going to do is change from a triplet subdivision to an 1/8 note subdivision. So if I play 6 notes as 1/8 notes, it becomes a bar of 3/4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So here's that lick played as 1/8 notes in 3/4. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now, if you've been used to playing this as triplets, I would suggest very strongly that you play quarter notes with your left foot just so that you can assimilate to that 1/8 note subdivision. Now, once that feels comfortable as 1/8 notes, then you can play it as 16th notes. Here it is as 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a. All right, so now we're coming up with a brand new idea, something that sounds different, something that's in a different time signature, using our initial 2-beat triplet lick. So the next method of expanding this idea and expanding your vocabulary is just simply to reorchestrate it. So rather than orchestrating it the way I am, with the right hand accents on the floor tom and the left hand accents on the first tom, what I'm going to do instead is just try a few different variations. So here are a few that I enjoy. The first one is to alternate the right hand accent between my floor tom and my second tom here. Now remember that this is really dependent upon the setup that you have and also just the sounds that you like hearing in your head. So you can orchestrate this any way you like. These are just some of my favorite ones. So here we go. This is right hand on the floor tom moving up to the second tom. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The next reorchestration is to take the left hand accents from the small tom and play them on the snare drum. So I'm just alternating those accents between the first tom and the snare drum. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And another idea is to just basically combine both. So I'll be moving the right hand between the floor tom and the second tom, and my left hand will be moving between the first tom and my snare drum. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So as I said, you can orchestrate these any way you like, but as you can hear now, we have 4 versions of this original idea. The third method in expanding this idea and your vocabulary is to use displacement or permutation. What that basically means is starting in a different part of the pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to revert to playing this pattern as 1/8 notes again, and I'm going to bring the whole pattern forward by 1/8 note. So instead of starting with the bass drum, I'm actually going to be starting with the right hand on the floor tom, and the bass drum will appear at the end of the bar. So let me play this for you as 1/8 notes. You'll know what I'm talking about once you hear it. 1, 2, 3. Again, I would strongly suggest that you play quarter notes with your hi-hat foot so that you're really clear about where the downbeat is and so that you don't confuse this with the previous pattern that you were playing. Now, once that feels comfortable, then you can go ahead and play that as 16th notes. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So again, the next step is to take this pattern and reorchestrate it. So as I said earlier, you can use your own orchestrations. One orchestration that I actually like using with this pattern is to move the right hand from the floor tom to a ride cymbal or even a crash cymbal and playing the bass drum underneath that, you know, in unison with the ride cymbal, which means that we get a double on the bass drum. 1, 2, 3. You can also alternate the left hand between the first tom and the snare drum. 1, 2, 3. So once you've messed around with your patterns and you've reorchestrated and you've changed the rhythm and you've displaced and permutated, you should have quite a few ideas that are new to you, but they're not really that new to you. They're just based on an existing pattern that you're playing. So when you can do that, then the next step is to just integrate these as fills in 4/4. So if I'm playing a pattern in 3/4, I just have to make up an extra beat. So here's an example. I'm going to play 1 bar of time, and then I'm going to play 1 bar of our first fill in 4/4. And I'm just going to loop that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's the same thing using the second variation where I start with my right hand on the floor tom. 1, 2, 3, 4. So all you have to do is make up a 4th beat. You can do that any way you like. Now before I forget, there is a PDF that accompanies this lesson. So if you want to grab a copy of that, I'm going to leave a link to downloading that in the description below. Now once you feel comfortable playing that as a 1 bar fill, we can stretch this to a 2 bar fill. So what I'm going to do is play 2 bars of time up front, then I'm going to play that fill for 2 bars of 16th notes, and I'm going to just loop that. Let's start with the first fill that I played. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's the same idea, but using the second example where I start the fill with my right hand on the floor tom. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can use these new ideas as fills, as I just played, and you can also integrate them as part of your soloing vocabulary. So what I might do now is just improvise playing some 30-second note material and throwing these ideas in. Here we go. So there you have it. There are 3 methods to expand your vocabulary, 3 methods to expand a single idea. I hope these are useful to you. And you know, like my whole thing is about just feeding yourself with information and expanding your vocabulary so that you're not just stuck playing the same ideas over and over, which can be enormously frustrating. I know what that feels like. So give these a go. You can use the pattern that I started with, or you can create your own pattern or use a pattern that you're already comfortable playing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit the like button, give it the thumbs up. Feel free to share this video as well. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe, and remember to hit that notification button so that you know when I've uploaded a video, which is every week. So until next week, have a great week. See you all soon. Bye.